I want to call this meeting of the Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District to order. I'm the chair, and first of all, this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is being recorded, and it's being broadcast on the Town of Barnstable Government Access Channel. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the chair must inquire whether anybody else is recording this meeting, and if so, they have to make their presence known. Okay, I guess we're okay there. All right, so to all persons deemed interested or affected by the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act under Section 9 of Chapter 470, Acts of 1973, as amended, you are hereby notified that a hearing will be held tonight on the applications listed on the agenda for November 15th, 2023. We'd like to remind all applicants and audience members that we are elected volunteer committee, and we follow the guidelines of the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act. And any applicant or interested party who's aggrieved by any decision that this committee makes, they have the right to appeal the decisions with the Old Kings Highway Regional Historic Commission. We ask that during this evening's proceedings, all cell phones be turned off and conversations other than those before the committee take place outside of this meeting. When an applicant is called, we ask that the applicant and all interested parties identify themselves. And lastly, as best practices for meetings that are held remotely, where we may not be able to visually identify who's speaking, we ask that all committee members and participants to identify themselves before making any motion or comments. Online audience members wishing to participate during the public comment section of the hearing can use the raised hand button to notify the chair. Dial-in audience members wishing to participate during the public comment should press *9 on their phones to notify the chair. So all participants will be muted. You must be recognized by the chair in order to participate. So our first order of business for this evening is to take roll call. So George Jessup. I think George is muted. George.
I'm unmuted and I'm present.
Very good. Wendy Shuck.
Here.
Brian Caholen.
Here.
And Leslie Wallace.
Here.
And of course, I am here. So thank you very much for that. So we are going to call and look at our agenda. And the first item is a continued application. So we need, Ryan, you'll have to sign off for this since it's your application.
So I believe that some clarification was sent out that provided I declare that I'm acting on my own behalf in my personal capacity, rather than an official role, I'm able to speak to my own property.
Yes,
Okay.
when we deal with your application, then you can speak to that as the owner of the property.
So how do I do that if I sign off?
Okay.
Right?
If I may, Chair, Kate Maldonado, Senior Planner. Ryan is correct in that, so we're proceeding. His application is a continued application. It's the first item on the agenda. He's correct that you may represent oneself before your agency or committee, but you may not take action on the matter. So as long as Ryan has noted that he's declaring that he's acting on his own personal capacity rather than the official role of the committee member, he may present this item as long as he's not taking an official act or voting on this item. And I
Oh,
believe
okay.
that
All
he
right.
has just noted such.
Good. Well, thank you for clarifying that. I don't think we were aware of that. So our first item on the agenda is a continued application for Ryan and Katie Caholen, 260 Church Street, Barnstable, map 153, parcel 007, built in 1978, to install 10.935 kilowatt solar panels, which will not exceed the roof panels, but will add 6 inches to the roof height. There'll be 27 panels in total. So we do not need to open a public comment on this because we did that in the earlier meeting. So the applicant, would you like to address your application for your solar panels? Ryan?
I would. And good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Caholen. For the record, I'm acting on my own behalf and in my personal capacity rather than any official role. So Ryan Caholen, property owner at 260 Church Street in West Barnstable. The last meeting, I know that an agent on my behalf brought forth a proposal to install solar panels on the property. And the takeaway from the committee was I had a couple of options to move forward. One would be to either replace my roof with a full black roof, which unfortunately that's not the most cost-effective approach. Or the idea was to take the panels off of the front of the house. Now, while that does impact the production, we were able to get a redesign of a layout, which takes the panels off of the front of the house. So they're no longer visible from the scenic road, Church Street. And I do have the updated design to share that with the committee and the audience.
Okay.
So as you can see, the new design takes all the panels off of the front of the house, places them all on the back and on the side, out of the preview of the scenic road. So again, there is some impact to the production of the system. However, down the road, we may revisit a dedicated array behind the house, where there's plenty of property. But for now, this seems to be the best path to move forward.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions.
All right. Wendy, Shuck, would you like to comment on this change in the array of the solar panels?
Sure. I think it's a great improvement. However, I wish we had seen this ahead of time so I could do a drive-by, you know what I mean? Because I know you can't see the back, but I don't know about the side of the house. So I feel like I really can't make a decision, not having this in mind and the opportunity to take a look at it. But I do think it's a great improvement. Great improvement.
Do we have any past photographs to show that side elevation from the previous presentation?
Yeah, that's a good idea, George.
Yes.
Brian?
I don't know, maybe if Erica, you have the application packet available?
Yeah, there were pictures, I know, I remember.
Perhaps Erica can locate those photos.
This is Erica Brown. Just give me one moment to bring that up.
Okay.
photo. I think there was one at the end showing the front of the home. That's the back,
Yeah.
and this is the front side on this side of the roof line.
We have trees on that side that's screening it. Ryan, are those trees between the house and the road?
No, those trees are between my property and the adjacent property.
So you can see that that side roof, perhaps if you are square on the house.
I think the way the property line's cut, probably not. The vegetation does bump out as you move from the house towards Church Street.
We have a
There's
site
probably a
plan.
15 to 20-foot buffer.
Looks to
All
me
of
like.
that.
Can we zoom on that a bit, Erica?
Yeah, I think she's trying.
Yeah, now I see that you do have a large forested area towards the road, and it overlaps the adjacent property as well, that forested area, so that the property is screened from travel from left to right. I also note that traveling from right to left, you're not looking at that side elevation. You're looking at the front only. and because of the vegetation to the left of your property and to the left of your house on your property, I don't think that side of the house is visible from the road, is it?
Right. Well, when was this taken though? Because I think your front yard's pretty cleared out, isn't it, Ryan?
There was a driveway added. You can see the white mark. That's where I had a boat park, but we did not clear anything beyond that. What this image shows.
So it's highly unlikely you could see those solar arrays on the left elevation.
I would say you'd have to come onto my property in order to do that.
Okay, thank you. What do you think of that, Wendy?
Thank you, George. Leslie, would you like to make comment regarding this change?
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you going to this effort, and I know your house very well. And it is set back, and there is like almost a tree fence on, if you're looking at the house straight on the left-hand side. So considering how far back it is, I don't think you'd really see all that much. So I'm fine with this.
For the record, the house is 163 feet off of the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Pat McCarthy. I think if you're traveling on Church Street going west, you would absolutely not see the panels on that side roof line, and you would have to be almost stationary driving toward the east in order to notice it. So I think it's a major improvement. Those are my comments. What about members of the public? Do we have any members of the public who've made comments regarding the change in the new array that's been substituted for the one previous?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I don't see anyone wishing to speak to the project at this time. Please correct me if I am
Hello?
wrong.
Oh, hello.
It looks like somebody would like to speak. Who is this?
Hello, Erica. My name is Nancy Conroy, and I live on Church Street. And I sent you an email of a letter regarding the situation. And with this change tonight, and I was trying to, I'm at 29 Church Street, West Barnstable. My husband and I, James Conroy, we've been there for 33 years. And so with the change tonight from the homeowner, is there any panels on the side roof of the house, or is it all in the back?
I think one was on the side, one of the side of the house, correct?
That is
No.
correct.
Yeah,
The left side of the house. with
the left side.
With the
But
pitch
that's the
face.
side you can't see, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's the one we're trying to figure out if it would be visible from the road or not. It seems like there's a pretty good tree cover, but I haven't
Okay.
seen it with this new design.
Could I read the letter that I emailed to you, Erica, but I never got a response that you received it, and I was traveling and then had a brief hospital stay. So I was just wondering, could I read the original letter that I sent to you?
This is Erica Brown. I have not received a letter from you, Nancy. I've received one from John and Susan Tansey, Priscilla
Mhm.
Jones, and Holly Rogers. But I
Okay.
unfortunately I did not receive one from you.
Could I just read the statement that I was making tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, Erica. We are 33-year residents at 29 Church Street, West Barnstable, and we are vehemently opposed to exposed solar panels on our beloved Church Street scenic road. When someone purchases a home on Church Street, they must abide by the rules and regulations set forth by the town of Barnstable and the Old Kings Highway. We understand that for building and renovating purposes, there may be instances for exception. And I want to add, because we made a change when the first few years we were there. However, in this case, exposed solar panels do not conform to scenic roads and should not be allowed, period. Unlike our new neighbors at 260 Church Street, I'm just trying to read my medals here. Let's see. We, whose property is lit up like Christmas time, 365 days of the nights of the year. For 33 years, we have been paying outrageous electric bills and have learned to conserve our electricity without solar panels, especially exposed panels. So if they're exposed, even if it's to an abutter on either side, I'm still opposed to that because I still think as you're riding by, and believe it or not, I drive very slowly and I walk my dog on Church Street, and I always drive very slowly. And it's something that would just stand out and would catch your eye. Believe me, I've thought many times about, and I get phone calls all the time about solar panels in Massachusetts and all the plans they have. However, it just really does not conform to the historic road that Church Street is. And I thank you for listening. And I just feel for the abutters of the property. And there's been a lot of changes on Church Street lately, which is okay. People own their property. They're allowed to do what they allowed to do. But I'll tell you, the scenic road of Church Street has changed dramatically in the last 5 years. And it's losing its charm. And then now we got solar panels coming into fray, and I don't know. I just would like to know, the question is, because there's a change tonight, would this be voted on tonight without anybody really going down there again? Or I appreciate the change, absolutely, like you all do, but I'm just wondering if it's a good idea to vote on this tonight and not continue it, just to make sure that no one's gonna be seeing this. Thank you.
Yeah. And Erica, I had a related question. I mean, this wasn't part of the formal submission, so would it be considered part of the application? Had it been formally submitted?
Yes, since last meeting, it was requested for updated materials. Normally I do ask for materials to be submitted earlier so that they're being able to be reviewed at a sufficient time. but in tonight's case, it wasn't doable. I do know
Okay.
Ryan expressed to me that he just got the
Okay.
design, and so he wanted to share that design as soon as possible with you all.
Right.
But I do also have another public comment from John T.
Okay.
John, if you'd like to unmute.
Yeah, just to carry on with what Nancy Conroy just said, is it visible from by the abutters, which that would be to the property to the left, where he does have the panels on the side? So I guess
Ryan,
it's directed at Ryan.
I mean, I imagine if someone looked hard enough, they probably would see it, but the regulation's pretty clear.
All right. Well, all right. So let's lay the cards on the table. Ryan, will Priscilla be able to see the panels from her property when you put them on the side of your house?
Priscilla, who has a no trespass order on my property because she's come onto it before.
That's irrelevant. She doesn't need to come on your property to see the
If she
panels.
trespasses onto my property, she will see the panels, correct?
Irrelevant.
In point of order, if I may, Kate Maldonado, Senior
Yes.
Planner, this discussion, this opportunity for public comment, generally, we do not have this as a comment in question. This is an opportunity for members of the public to present your comments. Ultimately, this decision is up to the committee. If they feel that they have enough information, they may close the public hearing and make a decision on this item tonight. Otherwise, if they feel that they need more time or more information, they do have the ability to continue this item to a time, date, and location certain.
okay. All right. I think we need perhaps
Excuse
to
me.
have a committee discussion if
I think we had
to
one
see
more
if they
public comment.
like to continue it to the next meeting.
I think there's another public comment.
Yeah.
This is Nancy Conroy again. To John's point, I'm just saying, you know, the leaves are coming down and we have long winters here. And so that may be something that may need, because this was a change, maybe this needs to be looked at. And I appreciate the woman that was just speaking was saying that maybe it needs to be continued. And I would ask for a continuance. Thank you.
This is Erica Brown. It looks like there is another public comment. Nancy Wilson, if you'd like to unmute yourself, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. I only want to state that the abutter on the other side also will see the panels from their property. And there's already an issue with light shining onto that property that are at different times, at different hours, and disturbing the the peace and quiet of those abutters. So I don't know whether this will add another level of frustration, but it would be preferable if the panels were not visible from the right-hand side abutter. If they're in the back and they're not visible by the abutters, we don't have an issue with that. But if they are, there's already some light interference going on, and this would just add to it. So I would prefer, if that's the case, we would not be in favor of that. Thank you.
Erica, is there any other public wishing to make comments on this?
Yeah, hi, if you can hear me, it's Matthew Jones. So I don't know how to do the hand wave, so I did it manually. I'm Priscilla's son. We longtime owners of the property abutting that has been referred to. This is a new development. We didn't even know about the meeting, let alone new plan for a side solar panel that'll be facing us. So I think we certainly should have the right for a little bit more review. And two things, the trees that are mentioned as the buffer between the solar panels and our property are our trees. Those trees are on our property. So there's really no direct trees on 260 on that property that are providing any buffer. The only trees are on our side. So that's just one point. And the other point would be the map that was displayed. I'm not sure that is up to date. I could be wrong, but the driveway I don't think is quite as, it is more exposed than is listed in the aerial photograph. And kind of mirroring what our other neighbor on the other side was saying, I don't think we'd have a problem with the rear because no one's seeing them there. But in this case, there's actually a bunch of panels facing our property. We're already facing the barn and the lights and things like that. So this would be something, we'd have to at least review. I would hope we'd get a chance to review, but my first inclination is that it would be more intrusive than already, past stuff has been. And I won't get into the other stuff that was being mentioned there by my neighbor. But anyway, just our 2 cents on that. I think it's pretty late in the game to be seeing these plans and to digest what effect they would have on our, quality of life over there at 240.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your comments. I think in light of all of the comments that have been made, and also even the committee not having had an opportunity to drive by the property with the new solar array, I believe it's best that we continue this application to our next meeting. So do we need a motion to do that?
Yes, should the committee concur that you are looking for more time and more information, you have the ability to make a motion to continue this item to a time, date, and location certain. I believe your next meeting is Wednesday, December 13th. There's only one meeting in the month of December,
Correct.
Wednesday, December 13th, 2023, 6:30 p.m. and it would be held virtually via Zoom. So if that is the committee's opinion to proceed, a motion would need to be made. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, and we leave
So-
the public hearing open too, right, Kate? Yeah.
That is
Well,
correct. So that way
would
you
keep
can
that
obtain
open, yes.
more
Yeah.
information and more comments at a subsequent meeting.
Okay.
How does
So-
Ryan feel about this?
What was
Does he
that,
want-
George?
How does Ryan feel about this? Does he wish to continue it?
Well, I mean, I'm sort of torn. I almost want to ask for the hearing to be held, and I'd like to almost get a denial so I can go appeal it, because there are scenic roads within the town of Barnstable that have had a panel on the side, which is clearly visible from the scenic road approved. The regulation doesn't get into a butter's preference. It says visible from the scenic road. The regulation is black and white. So I get it. I understand it. But I could easily see this being drawn out for a very long time. I've heard one public comment talk about the fact that they were concerned as a neighbor. In a previous meeting, they said they weren't a neighbor, that they live in Hyannis. So I have a lot of concern with, if this is allowed to continue, it's just going to keep going and going
Right.
and going.
Well, Ryan, ultimately, it's the committee's decision. So I believe if the committee feels that they need to revisit the property with the new allay, then we need to postpone and have bring this item up at our next meeting. So we would need a motion then to do that, and that can either pass or fail. So I think it would be best if somebody would make a motion regarding postponing a decision on this to the December 13th meeting, 2023 at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, I can do that, Bet.
Okay,
If everyone agrees. So this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to continue the certificate of appropriateness application for Katie and Ryan Caholen, 260 Church Street, Barnstable, map 153, parcel 007, built 1978. To the next meeting, which will be held on Wednesday, December 13th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. to be held remotely.
thank you. And may we have a second regarding this motion?
Second, Leslie Wallace.
Thank you. And a roll call vote on that. George Jessup,
Opposed.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So we have postponed the decision on this to our next meeting. 3-1 is the vote. All right. Thank you all very much. Our next item on the agenda this evening is for Catherine and Richard Ventura, 64 Commerce Road, Barnstable, map 301, parcel 051, built in 2014 to construct a new garage addition with a second floor above. So may we have a motion to open up, let me see, public comment.
Yes, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Very good, thank you. And a second?
Leslie Wallace, second.
And a roll call vote on that. George Jessup,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy, aye. So would the applicant, the Venturas, like to discuss their project or their representative?
All right, good evening, everybody. Steve Cook from Katuah Bay Design. I'm the project designer representing the Venturas tonight. So the project is a two-car garage onto the east side of the existing house, or the right side, on the corner of Commerce and First Avenue there in Barnstable Village. So the house was built in 2014 that I had designed. So you see that right in the photograph right there, where the two first floor windows and the two second floor windows. The garage will be added on that side. All siding, roof, trim, windows will match the existing house. This isn't a flood zone, so there'll be flood vents shown on the front and on the rear. It's a side load garage, so per the plans, the garage doors are on the First Ave side. There, so everything matches up, heights, so forth. And then there's transoms over the garage, and then on the rear elevation, it just two windows on the second floor and a window and door on the first floor with the flood vents. There is a group of cedar trees along the street, as you can see on the site plan. The site plan that submitted shows the new addition, and we're all some of the cedar trees. So there's a few cedar trees moved for the new driveway, but has good cover from Commerce Road. With that, I'll take any questions from the committee.
I have a question. Steve,
Yes, sir.
what do you need with the flood vents when you got the overhead doors?
Well, I'm supposed to spread them out over the side, so
I think it's ludicrous.
Yeah, well, that was the code's telling me that if the doors are down and nobody's living there, you know, and you get a flood event, that the flood vents will work. And, you know, not destroy the doors. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I think somebody's being ludicrous. I think the building department should be challenged on it.
Yeah.
The idea of the door that you have that's flush with the slab on the front, the overhead doors, they don't present a flood resistance. Even in the down position, they don't present a flood resistance. And the side door, which is also level with the slab, apparently, doesn't provide a flood resistance either.
Yeah, well, this property flooded in, I think in 2018. There were 2 storms, 2 big nor'easters during the winter. This whole property did flood twice. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
yeah.
I put them in there just to be, cover everything.
Well, knowing the required design elements and the proximity to the floor, the overhead doors are, if I own the house, the doors would go up a foot or a foot and a half and be left at that position. I've done that in other buildings and it was perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
So
well, I understand.
There you go.
Understand. So
you have a shed dormer shown on the a small shed dormer on one side and what looks like a full gable to gable dormer on the
yes, correct. Yep.
So that's where's the street view, please, Steve?
Well, the front elevation's from Commerce with the small shed dormer, and then the side, that's the side elevation from First Ave. So.
Okay, I know we
Yeah.
Okay, that was my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Wendy, do you have any comments regarding this addition?
I think the addition, it blends in really nicely with the existing home. You know, the materials are the same, which is great. I can't speak to the flood vents. I'm not an architect or an engineer, so I defer to you guys on that. Let's see, is there exposed, will there be exposed concrete? Do those windows go into concrete? Is that right? Or?
Yes, yeah, that's the flood vents into concrete. Yeah.
All right. Are they going to do any landscaping around the?
Yeah, there'll probably be it shows on the site plan. There'll probably be shrubbery in front of there. Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's appropriate for the area. Again, blends in well with the house. So I don't have any concerns.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. Ryan, do you have any comments on this application?
No, I mean, nothing beyond. I think it's appropriate. I like the way that it was incorporated into the lot as opposed to on the left-hand side. So I think it was a good use of the space, good use of the property. Yeah, I think it's appropriate.
Okay, thank you. And Leslie.
Thank you, George. Had no idea what the hell that was. Now I know. I think it looks appropriate and same materials. It'll blend in nicely. I'm fine with it.
Okay. And as far as this is Bet, as far as my comments, I think Wendy brought up the question of some landscaping, and that would soften the front and the side of the addition of the garage. And I think it the design blends in well with the neighborhood. And the fact that all the materials are the same as the existing home is very appropriate. So those are my comments. Is there anybody in the public wishing to discuss this particular application?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I don't see anyone wishing to speak to this project at this time.
Okay, well then, we need a motion to close the public comment, the public hearing part of the application.
Yes, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Second, Leslie Wallace.
Thank you. And a roll call vote on that. George Jessup.
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Brian Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion to approve the application for the Venturas.
Sure, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Catherine and Richard Ventura, 64 Commerce Road, Barnstable, map 301, parcel 051, built 2014, as submitted.
And a
Leslie
second.
Wallace.
Thank you. And a roll call vote on that. George Jessup,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So this project is approved as submitted.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Everybody have a good evening and happy holidays.
Great.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Same to you.
Thank you. All right. Our next application is for Sophia Gianaros Darris and Basil Darris, 39 Carson Lane, West Barnstable, map 133, parcel 064, built in 1986, to install two small 5-foot decorative fences at the driveway to the entrance. We need to open a public hearing for this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Second,
right.
Leslie Wallace.
Thank you. And a roll call vote on that. George Jessup,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So would the Darrises or their representative wish to discuss their project?
Good evening, everybody. Basil Darris, and I'm the co-owner of the property at 39 Carlson Lane in West Barnstable. And our application has to do with the installation of two small decorative fences at the entrance of our driveway, approximately 5 feet in length. As you can see from this sketch, which we designed ourselves with the help of our landscaper, the two posts will have exactly the same design, size, and lamps as shown in the photo that I have submitted. And if you don't have it, there is another photo that that one. So we have the same design, size, and lamps as shown in this particular photo. The lamps will be Nantucket style to match the exterior lamps installed in our house already, and they were purchased from a store in Cape Cod. The light posts and small decorative fences will be made of AZAC PVC white solid composite of good quality. Maybe we can go back to the schematic. Thank you. We will add cobblestones on the two sides around the columns and the small decorative fences. The length of each fence on either side of the light posts will be approximately 5 feet. And we plan to plant 2 or 3 evergreens behind each small fence. We have been told that the distance between the entrance columns has to be wide enough to accommodate a fire truck in case of fire. The design, color, etc. have been approved already by the Botfish Community Association Board, who given the location of the property, asked us to submit an application for a certificate of appropriateness to the Soil Commission, and this is what we did. We need 2 lights at the entrance because our driveway is not straight. After the entrance, the driveway takes a sharp right turn. If the entrance is not well illuminated and the driver is unfamiliar with the driveway, particularly at night with rain or snow, a car could get off the edge of the adjacent drop-off on the left and end up in the ravine at least 200 feet down the embankment. The lights define the entrance and the driveway for safe access to this house. Thank you for listening to me.
All right, thank you. May we now have committee comments on this?
We close the public hearing.
George?
Did we have a public hearing closed?
No, we opened it. Yeah.
Did we close it?
Nope.
Okay. Well, my only comment is, are those fences parallel to the road, or are they angled back, or are they, how are they situated?
They would be parallel to the road.
Parallel to the road. Okay.
Parallel, yes.
For 5 feet. And the height is, please?
The height of the height will be a little less than 6 feet because the light post is about 6 feet. The smaller one, the small post, will be 4 feet, approximately.
So the height with the post and the lamp on it, how high would that be?
The lamp would be another at least another foot.
So 6 feet plus 1 foot, was that?
Approximately.
6 feet, okay. All right. And can you describe the cobblestone? So the cobblestones will be on the, I guess, the side of the fence closest to the home, not the side of the fence closest to the road. Is that correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. And then the shrubbery or greenery would be on the other side of the fence as well.
On the other side of the fence, yes, and not on the side of the street.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The height of the lamps appears to be the rearview mirror of the fire trucks. I would bear that in mind when you set your width. Your width is going to be 10 feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Fire trucks are big too.
Yeah, and they project quite a way. So bear that in mind. Find out from your fire department what your clearance requirement would be, please.
Great, thank you. We'll do that.
Right. Brian,
Get them
have comments?
Get them to stamp the drawing.
Do you have any measurements available handy for area A? And if you have a measurement from the corner out to the road as well?
It is approximately something like 12, 15 feet, approximately, or more. It could be as long as 20 feet, but I don't have an exact measurement, but it's the entrance will be set back as much as possible. Yeah, will not be close to the street.
You said it's a 10-foot opening, approximately.
You mean between the light posts?
Correct.
Would be more than 10 feet.
Yeah, I mean, George does bring up a good point, just about clearances in and out, for a straight frame fire truck or something like that. I'd probably be concerned.
I mean,
but that's not really the job of this committee to make the determination.
Right.
A fire truck can make it in, but certainly something to think about.
I'm sorry, can I say something?
Sure.
Just please keep in mind that this is not a driveway perpendicular to the street. You go in, then you take a right to go down the driveway. So the distance between the two posts will have to be significant because they go in and then they turn.
Right.
So it cannot be just 12 feet. It's going to have to be, you know, I have to ask the fire department again, but in this case, it may have to be as long as wide as 20 feet or something.
So drawings are, just to help you out, there are drawings available. Look up AASHTO diagrams for private driveways. I think 21 feet is the ruling distance.
21
Oh.
feet.
But again, that's not really
Wow.
our job here as a committee.
Right.
Any consideration to a material beyond AZEC?
I mean, we prefer composite, good quality composite with a white color. So we don't have to paint, and also looks nice for a long time.
Comment? I would require the AZEC to be painted white. And the reason is to drastically reduce the electrostatic charge that comes with plastic fences and plastic posts. They draw with an electrostatic charge, they draw windblown soil and grass to the post itself and discolor it, requiring constant washing. If you paint it, the paint, there is a paint, your paint store should be able to tell you, there is a paint that will last up to 50 years on this plastic material. It's not like you have to keep painting it. You paint it once with the right paint, and it's not terribly expensive, but it's a little more than just the dishwater. So it's going to keep that fence from attracting the soil and the windblown debris that will discolor it and stick to it using the right paint. And there's not that much of it to paint. So I think that would be a wonderful investment on your part.
Great. Thank you so much for letting me know.
All right. Leslie Wallace, would you like to discuss this application?
Yes, I'm glad George mentioned the painting. And those can get mildewy if they're not, you know, the green, if they're not painted. So I didn't know about the paint he suggested, but I'd look into that. It sounds pretty good. Also look into the width. This isn't a cheap fence and you don't want to spend a lot of money and have it not be the proper size. The picture you posted, I believe, is down the street from me. And it's a very nice looking fence and the onion lamps. I'm not quite sure about the height of the lamps and the posts. You say 7 feet?
Total. No.
Yeah.
No, 6 feet and a foot. Didn't we figure that out? Yeah. But
Yes.
this is off the road. It's not right on the road.
No.
You said it was what, 20 feet from the
At
road?
least 15, it could be 15, 20 feet in.
Okay, okay. Well, for your own sake, check on those things and the paint George talked about. I mean, it's a nice looking fence, so I'm all right.
All right. Thank you, Leslie. This is Bette McCarthy. I think it would make a nice addition to this property. There is a very precarious driveway to get to the home. So I think having this fence is sort of an alert that
Yeah.
there'll be a driveway beyond it. So I
The
think it
safety, yeah.
blends in very well. So those are the committee comments. Now, what about the public? Are there any members of the public wishing to make comments about this?
This is Erica Brown. I would like to acknowledge that there was a anonymous letter that was submitted. Did everybody review that letter?
Yeah.
Thank you. The Darris has also submitted a rebuttal letter, just to a response to that anonymous letter. Did everyone also review that?
Yeah.
Anonymous mail.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Other than that, I do not see anyone in the public wishing to speak to this project at this time.
Okay, all right, thank you. So then we need to close the public hearing part of this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Second, Leslie Wallace.
And a roll call vote on that. George Jessup,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion to approve the application.
Right. And one question before I make the motion. So the AZAC paint and the width, is that going to be a modification to the application, or is that up to the applicant?
No, I think that should be a modification. We always require that that material be painted.
Okay. Okay. Just checking. Okay. So this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Sophia Giaranos Darris and Basil Darris, 39 Carlson Lane, West Barnstable, map 133, parcel 064, built 1986, as submitted with two modifications. One is to paint the AZAC fence with the appropriate plastic covering paint, and also to ensure the width of the gate is sufficient to allow large trucks such as a fire truck to pass through, otherwise as submitted.
All right. And a second.
Leslie Wallace, I'll second.
All right. And a roll call vote on that. George Jessup,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So that application is approved as submitted with the suggestion to go along with that. All right. Our next application is for Sherry and Anthony Freitas of 34 North Winds Lane, West Barnstable, map 109, parcel 090, built 1992, to install rooftop solar PV system rated at at 9.3 watts, 23 panels, install one Tesla Powerwall on the exterior of the home. So we now need to open a public hearing part of this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Ryan
Second,
Caholen.
Leslie Wallace. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
And a roll call vote on that.
Aye.
George Jessup,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So now we need the applicant to discuss their project or their representative.
Hi, good evening. Nathan with Tesla Energy, along with the Freitas. And pretty straightforward. We're asking permission to install 23 solar panels at the home at 34 North Winds Lane, along with a Tesla Powerwall on the southern facing exterior of the home.
The southern facing. All right, where's the front elevation? Please. All right. How many units are going on that elevation?
I don't think there's any on the front.
No, it's
Right.
all in
Yeah.
the back.
It's all in the back.
Right.
There's actually 6 on the front, but the southern elevation is for the Tesla Powerwall, which is the inverter and the backup energy storage. And the profile is approximately 8 inches from the side of the home.
So are there panels on the front of the house?
Yes, there are 6 panels.
They're not on the roof. They're on the wall.
No. The panels are on the roof. We also have a power wall, which is a battery system, backup battery system, that is on the southern wall of the home.
I think what you have to do, yeah, walk us through the whole design, please.
Sure. So there's 6 panels on the front of the home. The remainder are on the back. On the southern elevation, there's a Tesla Powerwall, which is an energy storage system and an inverter for the solar panels. The profile of that is approximately 8 inches, which is less than a typical electric meter.
How big is it? How big is your?
It's approximately 5 feet tall by about 2.5 feet wide, with a width of about 6 inches, with the bracket approximately 8 inches.
So this is like a this is like a telephone company circuit board.
Pretty much, yes.
We've seen a few of those on the side of the road, so we know approximately how big those are. So this one's
Yes, that's a good comparison.
Please? This one's
I'm sorry.
How tall again, please?
Approximately 5 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
And Erica, can we see that front elevation of the house again? I didn't realize there were panels on the front.
No, and I didn't either. Where are they?
Yeah. Above the garage in that section, right in there.
Yeah.
Correct. There's 2 above the first dormer, and then there's 4 tucked in between the middle dormer and the southern dormer.
Now, wait a minute. It's in 2 spots in the front?
Yeah.
Correct.
And those can't be in the back of the house?
There's shading issues that would limit the production.
Shade from trees?
Yes, correct.
North Winds Lane.
Anything you think they cut down or cut back some of the trees?
I can't speak for that. The homeowners are on. North Winds Lane is right next to Route 6, just north of the old airfield.
The old airfield.
The West Barnstable airfield.
Right. Yeah.
149.
Yes, that's where I think it.
Right. And Erica, can we see the picture with the array again?
That's
how
Church
it's laid
Street.
out?
So those 2 panels are at the ridge?
Those 2 panels, correct. They're in between the dormer and the ridge.
And where's the other one?
The other one is over the entrance door on the side. 4 panels. You see that?
No, I don't see it.
See the section line in the drawing?
Oh, yeah, I see.
Those are the 4
Right.
panels.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, my preference would be to put those on the back and, if you can cut some limbs down to get the better sun.
Well, what's the loss what's the solar loss on that side? And it doesn't extend all the way to the end of the garage, does it?
No.
No, it depends on the azimuth of the roof. These panels are approximately 400 watts. So you would be losing, what's that? 6 by 400, about 2 kilowatts.
Yeah. Well, putting them on the front is not our choice. And
I agree, but I would say given the nature of the location, the neighborhood, it's kind of off the beaten path. It is adjacent to Route 6 itself.
Oh, I don't mind seeing them from Route 6.
I mean, you can hear the highway when you drive by there,
I'm sure you can.
you know, but I think there's some trees. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really worried about seeing it from Route 6. I'm more worried about the North Winds Lane.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, my preference would be to continue this because I did not realize they were in the front, and I'd like to go around and look at the neighborhood and see if, you know, what has been done with the other homes there, and, you know, maybe see if the homeowners would be amenable to putting those in the back and maybe cutting back some trees. But I wasn't aware. I thought the application said they were all in the back, but maybe
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. I'd like to continue it as well and look around the neighborhood too. I think that's.
Well, this is Spet. I did go to visit. One thing that could be done is on that back garage section, there are 3 panels, and you could put 3 more panels back in there possibly. The one thing is the roof is dark, so these panels would blend in well. And the other thing is it's a very remote street. There are not a lot of other properties there. I don't know if anybody else was able to go and visit the home.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I went, Bet. I just didn't realize that they were going to be in the front. I thought they were going to be in the back. I didn't go with like that in mind, you know.
Well, the major majority of them are in the rear. So, and that one section over the garage is a perfect rectangle. If the other 2 could come off and go in the back, that would be preferable to me. So it's not a scenic road. It's off the beaten path, and it's minimally visible. So think about those issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not necessarily opposed. I just didn't look at it with that in mind. I just thought they were all in the back, you know. I just like to see it again. Yeah.
Well, are the owners, I don't know if they're on, would they?
The owners are online.
Oh, okay.
I think they would like to speak.
Would they consider the small amount, I guess it's on the garage, and put the other, what, 3 or 2 in the back?
There's more than enough room in the back for all of the panels. It depends upon what the shadow is.
I'm sorry. We just got online. This is Anthony and Sherry Freitas, the owners speaking. To try to address the questions, our original design had all of the panels in the back, and it is 10% less efficient in terms of what it produces due to the trees in the back. We did have those trees trimmed recently, but those numbers were taken into consideration after the trees were trimmed. Also like to point out, one of the counselors mentioned, and I apologize for not remembering the names, but there are a number of houses in our neighborhood, 3 of which immediately come to mind, that have panels on the front of the house that are visible from the road. I understand that the scenic issues with Church Street, but in terms of our neighborhood, I really don't think it applies quite to the extent that it would in that neighborhood. This is a newer neighborhood. If you're familiar with Cedar Street and Lothrop's area, that we're off of Cedar and north of the Lothrop's area. or excuse me, south of the Lothrop's area of West Barnstable. So there are, as I said, a number of houses in the vicinity, both in our immediate neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods, that do have panels visible from the front of the house.
I would probably add that, barring the fact that the panels in the front of the residence are separated, they're not together, they don't form a continuous rectangular pattern. If not for that, this would qualify for a solar panel exemption, meaning it doesn't even have to be heard.
Oh,
Right.
I
If
would,
they
I
were
would
all
add
on,
that.
if they were all on the back, you're right, Ryan, we would not, it would qualify for a certificate of exemption.
I think you could still have panels in the front, but they can't be separated as they are depicted here, right? So you have 4 panels to the right. Top of the drawing, I see 2 panels. If all those panels were together, this would qualify for an exemption. You could still have panels on the front.
huh.
Maybe you could put the 2 on the back, you know, the 2 loners, put them on the back and maybe keep the block of 4 in the front.
Perhaps. I mean, I can relate to the Freitas's. I understand what happens when you don't put them where they need to go, the loss of efficiency.
It wouldn't be 10%, but it would, you know, somewhere between 10 and 0, it would be the of loss, right? Because you just be moving 2.
It was a significant, just because of the angle of the sun. I'm sorry, Sherry Freitas, co-owner. It was just because of the angle of the sun, and the tree. As you can see from the photograph, there is a beautiful old oak tree that is in the back, and we really didn't want to have to take that tree down. So when you're looking at the photo where it says view facing east, you can see that tree behind the garage. That's the one that's shaded, that will shade those rear panels, and that's why. We just were trying to have a system that was within reason of our energy needs, and as unobtrusive as possible without being wasteful. And we didn't really want to have to take the tree down.
Right.
Okay.
If you took the tree down and put them in the back, how would your power be?
This is Pat McCarthy again. If just the 2 panels on the left side of the house over the front door, if they were removed and you still had the rectangle on the right side over that side door and the dark roof, that would blend in and you would lose a very significant amount of energy from just dropping those 2 panels off. And I think it would be less obvious and it would blend in a lot better. That's my suggestion.
Right.
We are, as homeowners, we're amenable to that. I don't know what that means in terms of the process or needing redesigns or anything, but we would be amenable to that change.
Removing those 2 and moving them into the back.
Yeah. And could you even add more panels in the back just to maybe make up for the difference? Like,
well,
I know it's shaded, but
if we had filled the back room with all 23, the back roof with all 23 panels, which was the original design, the output is 10% less than it is with the current design with the 6 panels on the front.
Right. But I'm saying, you know, put all as many panels as you can on the back, the complete panel, and then keep the array of 4 on the front. Take the 2 out. And could they get a certificate of exemption if they did that?
Yes.
They have a solid rectangular array.
Or we could approve it tonight, so they wouldn't have to wait.
We could. That's a good point, that. Yep.
And if they just remove 2 panels, it would be an insignificant loss of energy.
Right. And they could add whatever as more panels on the back, you know, keep the 4 on the front and fill the whole back and maybe get a little extra energy. I don't know, you know.
Well,
but they do have
like it's a commercial decision because
yes, it is. I get it. It costs money. I get it. I'm just throwing out options. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And they do have the shade of that tree
Yep.
on the
Yep.
garage side,
Yep.
so.
Hmm.
We would be willing to remove those two.
Okay.
With recommendation, we'd have no problem with that. Obviously, we would need to speak with the designer about adding whatever in the
Okay.
back.
Okay,
But we would definitely be willing to remove those two and then be able to just keep the 4 grouping if that's
Right.
what the council would recommend.
Okay, all right. With that, agreement by the owners, perhaps we, see if there's anybody, in the public wishing, to make any comments regarding that.
This is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone in the public that
All
is
right.
wishing to speak to this project.
Then we can close the public, hearing part of the,
That, can I just ask something?
yes.
Okay, back to Ryan, because he is going through this. What do you mean by their separation with the panels? But if they were all together, what was that again?
Yeah, so if the solar panel exemption requires those solar panels to be a continuous rectangle, right? So we do have a continuous rectangle, but you can't have it broken up. So they have a rectangle here, they have a rectangle over here.
Oh,
They have-
okay,
They have to be continuous. They have to.
Right.
They have to-
okay, I got you. So what we're proposing is fine.
Well, yeah, what is
Correct.
being proposed would be
Correct.
eligible
Okay.
for an exemption.
I
Right.
didn't get what you were saying.
Okay,
Yep,
all right. So, is there any member of the public wishing to discuss this?
This is Erica Brown. There's no one from the public wishing to speak to this item at this time.
Okay, well then, let's close the public hearing of this, for this application.
this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Ryan
Second,
All
Cahoon.
right.
Leslie Wallace.
Sorry, Leslie.
Sorry.
Thank you. And a roll call vote on that. George Jessup,
Hi,
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Cohen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Beth McCarthy, aye. So now, we need a motion to, accept the modified, allay for the solar panels and the power wall.
Okay, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Sherry and Anthony Freitas, 34 North Winds Lane, West Barnstable, map 109, parcel 090, built 1992, as submitted with modification of removing the 2 standalone solar panel arrays to the back of the house, otherwise as submitted.
Ryan Cahoon, I'll second.
Okay. A roll call vote then. George Jessup,
aye,
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Brian, did I call you?
Did not, but my answer is aye.
Okay, and Beth McCarthy, aye. So that application is approved with the slight modification.
Thanks, Anthony and Sherry. Your good
Thank you.
sport. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Our next application is for Robert John Lewis, trustee, 3217 Main Street, Barnstable, map 299, parcel 023, built in 1700, to remove an existing door on the north elevation of the dump out and re-side with natural white cedar shingles. We need to open a public hearing for this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Leslie
And a
Wallace.
second, And thank you. Roll call vote. George Jessup,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Brian Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy. So now we need the applicant to discuss the removing of the door on the north elevation.
Oh,
Hi, good evening. My name is Mike Rockwell, and I own the house company, and I'm here representing John Lewis for this project. Fairly straightforward, I think. It probably should not read dump out. It probably should have read bump out, but there's a bump out on that facade.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It has some doors in it already. That facade actually has 4 doors on it now, so we'd like to take and get at least one of them out of there to try to clean that up a little bit. And then we've already gotten approval to reside the building, and so then when we reside the building, we'll just side over that opening. White cedar's natural.
yep.
It's that portion is not part of the oldest section of the house. That the very front part of the building is a 1700s building. And that comes off it's one of the multiple additions that have been put onto this building.
1700. That's when they went to the porcelain room.
I'm sorry?
Is this a porcelain room addition?
I don't know what that is.
That's the.
Oh.
Well, there used to be an outhouse. This
Oh.
replaces
No,
Leave it
Never.
to George.
it. They did this quite often. They did this flat roof addition,
yeah,
5x5.
Could very well have been then.
Okay, it's not a back hallway to the kitchen.
No.
No, okay.
all right.
Well, again, given its age, it could have been at one point.
Yeah.
I think it's just this is Beth McCarthy. It's just the entrance to that back section. I've been in the property, so.
Okay.
No, there's 2 more doors behind that. There's another
Yeah.
door that leads into that little bump out, and then there's
Yeah.
another door on that facade that leads into the other section of the house.
Yeah.
But
All
we're
right.
only interested in that outside one we see here, right?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah, just that one door that we have circled there.
Okay.
Right. So are you going to replace it with a window or anything? I mean, aesthetically, a window might be better just than a straight
No.
wall. No.
No,
Oh, there's 2 openings in it already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think just removing that and shingling it is more historical looking.
right.
Yeah, the other thing we're trying to resolve there too is that, you can see when you look at that picture that there's a door to the right that leads into the main building.
Yeah.
Before there was this real odd angled platform out there, horribly decayed. So we took that out, but we couldn't develop a really clean set of steps going into both doors and have it look nice. So
Yeah.
kind of furthered our idea of, why don't we just 86 this door here?
All right. So just take the door out and then reshingle the wall.
Yes.
Basically it. Okay. I'm good.
All
with
right.
this.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Any other comments by the committee?
Nothing from me.
All right. Is there any members of the public wishing to discuss this application?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. There's nobody from the public wishing to speak to this item at this time.
Okay, thank you. And then we need to close the public hearing for this application.
This is Wendy Shuck and I move to close the public hearing.
Very good. In a second.
Leslie Wallace, I'll second. You're too slow, Ryan.
No, look, I was giving that to you. That was a gimme.
We need a roll call vote on that. George Jessup.
Aye.
Wendy Shuck.
Aye.
Brian Caholen.
Aye.
Leslie Wallace.
Aye.
And Beth McCarthy. Aye. So now we need a motion to approve this application.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for John Robert Lewis, trustee, 3217 Main Street, Barnstable, map 299, parcel 023, built 1700, as submitted.
Thank you. A second?
Ryan Gaholen, I'll second.
Wallace second.
I think Brian beat you
Beat
out
me?
on that one.
All
Leslie.
right, let him beat me.
Okay, all right. And we'll do a vote on that. George Jessup,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Beth McCarthy, aye. So that's approved as submitted. Those are the only applications for this evening's agenda.
Thank you, folks.
We do not have any minor modifications, or we do not have any extensions, other than other section is that the annual election for committee members is on the 28th of November, and that's at 7 to 8 p.m. And there's a change in the location, and that's going to be at the Barnstable, West Barnstable Elementary School, in 2463 Main Street. So everyone should note that for the election. The next item is to approve the minutes of October 25th, 2023. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes, and are there any additions or corrections that need to be made to that?
I just have one little nit and then just one question, Erica. So on, let's see, which one? This is the little nit on which application is this? The first one, Gary Murphy. And then when the motion to approve, I think it's just a word is missing, approve the certificate appropriateness for Gary, just a little nit. And then my question is, on the adjournment, on the vote, I didn't see George's name there, but I don't remember if he didn't vote. I just don't remember. So.
Oh, nope, George was here. I just must have missed his name in there.
Okay.
So I can include that and fix that
okay.
motion.
Okay. He hadn't signed out early. We don't want you to miss out, George.
I don't mind you leaving it out if it'll get me in trouble.
All right.
Otherwise.
So we need a motion then to approve the minutes.
Yeah, and do I do the motion with the edits?
With the edits, all right.
Okay.
And then we need a second.
Second, Leslie Wallace.
Thank you.
Sorry, point of order. I think Wendy actually needs to make the motion
Yeah,
first.
I was asking, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. So this is Wendy.
That was a motion.
That's all right.
Okay.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the minutes from the meeting on Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, as submitted with two edits. One is to insert the missing word on the first item on the agenda, and the second item is to add George to the vote on the adjournment.
Very good. All right. And then a second.
Leslie
Gaholen, I'll
Wallace
second.
Wow, that was a tie.
All right. And a roll call vote. George Jessup.
Aye.
Wendy Shuck.
Aye.
Ryan Caholen.
Aye.
Leslie Wallace.
Aye.
And Beth McCarthy, aye. So our next meeting is December 13th, 2023. And the meeting following that is January 10th, 2024. So
Wow.
other than that, we need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to adjourn today's meeting Wednesday, November 15th, 2023.
And
Leslie Wallace.
second, thank you. And a roll call vote. George Jessup.
Aye. Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll note that you were, you did vote on this. Wendy Shuck.
Aye.
Ryan Caholen.
Aye.
Leslie Wallace.
Aye.
And Bette McCarthy. So good night, everyone. Thank you all very much.